Hi, my name is Kamryn Fowler, and I'm a senior at Wenatchee High School. Over this past year, I've been concerned about how COVID-19 has affected the mental and physical health of students during this time of isolation. Following the suicide of a fellow classmate, I felt prompted to do something more. I wanted to empathize with my peers as well as spread awareness to those in the community about what our youth are facing. I wanted to create a space for youth to share their personal stories and struggles concerning their mental and emotional health. I created a Google form and shared it on my social media platforms. I received over 100 responses of convincing data that students' health is declining. Responses revealed that teenagers are struggling with loneliness, depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, eating disorders, increase of drug and alcohol usage, and physical abuse at the home. Here I will share with you 2 responses that I received from students here in Wenatchee. I live in very unstable households. I'm constantly getting kicked out of my house. I am physically and verbally abused and constantly surrounded by drugs and alcohol. I've allowed drugs and alcohol to consume my life and to escape my home. School was my only place to escape and feel safe. It also gave me purpose and kept me out of trouble. I'm suffering and I don't know what to do. Another student wrote, I've been in and out of hospitals due to stress, anxiety, and depression, all because of how school is going. In all honesty, I would rather drop out and graduate a year late than to do online school any longer. I've been fortunate to represent the voices of adolescents at public health, Rotary, and school board meetings. Together, we are working on ways to provide mental health resources to those who are struggling now. The findings from my survey highlights the fact that adolescents desire to feel loved, supported, and connected to a community, now more than ever. The students and volunteers at Young Life have and will continue to show up for kids here in Wenatchee to provide and support the connection that they long for.
We've always known those teenage years as being hard ones. And while adolescents today are still asking the same questions, who am I? Where do I belong? What do I believe? The experiences and obstacles surrounding finding the answers to those questions are much different than before. Today's adolescents are part of what's called Generation Z, which is the largest, most diverse generation in the history of the United States. They are growing up and being formed by a post-Christian culture, which means matters of faith and God and the Bible have no cultural context or rooting around them. I kind of even wonder if kids today even know when Jesus walked the earth. One marker of this generation is that kids are known as what's called digital natives, meaning they had access to smartphones, tablets, and social media from a much younger age, and they're often referred to as the loneliest generation while being socially connected. So social media and digital communication are what's called the social oxygen for this group of adolescents. It's how they're socialized, it's how they're socializing, and it's how they stay informed. And the struggle of comparison then is no longer who's immediately around you at your school or even in your state. They're now globally connected, and so their platform for being compared to others is not just around them, but around the world. And so that means they can go and see elite athletes, high-performing adolescents in this global context, which creates an unrealistic norm for them to compare themselves to. When I ask adolescents why their peers go back to social media over and over again, what do you think they're looking for? They use words like purpose, identity, meaning, value, and security. The noise for them never, ever stops. There's always something happening, always something going on, always something they're missing out on. That's always been true, but now they can see it directly on their phone. So whenever they put it down or go to sleep or doing something else, they'll come back to a bunch of stories and posts and messages and everything else they've missed out on because they stepped away for just that moment. So this fear of missing out has led to this constant anxiety of, what if I'm doing the wrong thing with my time? What if there's something better that I should be doing and I missed out on that? The most common negative words this generation of kids is using to describe themselves are lonely, tired, afraid, and discouraged. You see, social media and this instantaneous access to information does not equal wisdom. Adolescents don't know who to trust in this world of edited images and put together stories, and they don't know where to turn to advice. Technology has created a digital separation between kids today and adults around them, leaving kids as the loneliest generation that's ever existed in the United States, and more isolated from caring adults. But the good news is kids want mentors. 73% of Gen Z agree that when difficult decisions come up, they turn to older generations for advice. They want trusted, caring adults who will walk alongside them. Because this digital world makes constant promises of freedom and connectedness, but instead gives inauthentic facades and endless competition, it makes kids feel like they are never enough. Psychologists have identified that the most common question asked by Gen Z is, am I safe? And that's not just mental, physical, emotional safety, but safety from shame, failure, embarrassment, or risk. So when it comes to matters of faith and matters of Jesus, or what the Bible says, they're asking the same thing. Am I safe? Am I safe to ask questions? Am I safe to doubt? Am I safe to be seen by God? Am I safe to be with Jesus? A caring adult, or rather a village of adults, are tasked with becoming that place where a kid can exhale, put down their defensive guards that they're used to protecting themselves with, and be a safe place where kids can explore, who am I? What do I believe? And where do I belong? The best thing we can do is not say, I'm here for you, but to say, I am here with you. Kids don't need space. They need adults to run after them, to offer a lifeline or a hand to reach out to them, with a caring adult on the other side that says, can I walk with you? Can I tell you about Jesus? Would you consider being that adult, that village, that doesn't let technology or social media or loneliness or anxiety or fear get in the way of the good news being told to the next kid?